What's up, flight simmers? Pilot 83 here. Thought I would make y'all guys a video that would help a lot of y'all alleviate having black screens and CTDs as much. I know the sim seems to be a lot worse since this avionics update, I personally think. But here are some things. A lot of y'all ask me a lot, how do I get my 737 from PMDG to fly so effortlessly? And it's not effortlessly, I will say. There are some things I have to do, and I still have issues time to time. But there is a update coming though for the 737 on August 17th that should make it a lot more stable. But here are some things that it will not guarantee to get rid of these things, but these are some things that I do that will greatly help you. Alright? Okay, so one of the first things I'm going to show y'all that seems to be one of the biggest helps, and this is because on Xbox there is a huge RAM shortage, or I guess you could say disadvantage for the sim. That is these world updates. If you have world updates and you are not frequenting those areas, I highly advise you remove them, especially world update 13, the Oceanic update. These world updates, the thing with these is, and in the new sim is something that they are actually fixing, but it is that even when you're not in these places, the sim is still loading all of this in. And if you have any type of add-on airports there, anything that interferes, just anything, it creates a huge memory problem on your Xbox and will make you much more likely to CTD. I only keep on the world updates that I frequent. Now if I do want to go to one of these places, then I will install it for that day, then uninstall it afterwards. Also, like I said, if you have any updates that have things like sceneries that you have bought, like airports, for example, they are going to cause a big problem. I find that I much rather have the airport add-ons that I've bought than have these world updates, because a lot of these are just pretty bad anyway. Only some of them are great. And also, always, check every time you install something that affects the world of the sim. See how it affects other stuff in the sim. So a good example of this is the last thing I installed that was a world add-on was the Aurora Northern Lights add-on by South Oak Company. I noticed shortly after I installed that one of my Jetway add-ons was having some issues. For example, the people around it disappeared. And at first I thought it was the sim. Come to find out, after I uninstalled it, immediately it was fixed. And now you're probably thinking, well, how do those two, counteract each other? That I don't know. It's something to do with the coding, but I do know that it was affecting one of my Jetway add-ons with my trucks and stuff, so I removed it. So number 2, here's another list of things that will greatly help you. One being turn off live world air traffic. Alright, now a big one is this photogrammetry. I keep mine on because it doesn't really affect me, but I'll tell you when it is turned off, it is a night-day difference. Just depends on how much you care about this. Now, rolling catch, this is always a very big topic in question. What should it be set at? I have experimented a lot with this, and 32 gigabytes seems to be the best limitation for this. Now let's move down to traffic. So traffic, worker density, ground aircraft, airport vehicle. I keep all this at 50, no more. Road vehicles, 50%. You can even turn those off if you wanted to. Depends on what you care about it. Fauna density. Unless you really care about seeing animals in the sim, which unless you're looking for them, I'll be honest, you will never see them. I keep that at 0. So it's one of those things, if you do not need it, why have it on and why use it, okay? So I have that off, and it seems to make a big difference. And like I said, having these down. Also, during your live flights, if you want to stay on live weather and time, then that's fine. Live time is fine. But if you're doing long haul flights, I do suggest that you turn off live weather. That is probably the biggest use of memory when you are flying in the sim, is live weather. Now if I'm doing a 2 or 3 hour flight, say 2-hour flight, I'll keep it on. But past that, I find it's best to keep it off, because more likely you are going to black screen, especially when you get to your arriving airport. if you don't CTD before you touch down. Alright, like I said, have AI traffic off, I have live players on, and one other thing I should have showed you all a second ago is always reset your catch after you do any type of long flight. It's best to reset your catch every day. I reset mine every single time I get on before a flight. Alright, and usually my flights are usually pretty long, so usually once a day I reset this, and it seems to make a big difference. One of the last things I will show y'all is this. The last thing here I will show you is in your TV and display options on your Xbox. I keep mine set to 1080, and also in your settings in the sim in your display I keep HDR10 turned off. Now the sim does play in 4K, that is correct, but when the Xbox is putting out 4K as well, then that is more usage of the Xbox's power. Just like when I'm editing a video, the video might be 4K, but if I'm editing it in 1080, it is less stress on it. So I don't know how much of effect it has, I don't know, but it's just something I do. I keep resolution at 1080 and I keep HDR10 turned off in my sim settings, and for the most part I don't get black screens. I do get them time to time, but the biggest thing out of this whole entire video I can tell you is the world updates are your biggest thing on the Xbox that cause black screens and CTDs. Hope this video was helpful, guys. As always, I am Pilot83. See y'all guys in my next vid. Good night.